Facebook is tuned in.
Oh, yeah, I just shared it.
Okay, let me text you the link. I know everything.
Do not disturb. Hey.
Invite guests, copy. All right, let me text it to you, Christian. Then you just click that link. It's going to ask you to enter your name.
Okay.
You know what, Demarion? Get Christian that phone holder out the locker for me.
Oh, my man.
All right, you should have it. I don't know about you.
What song is next? Y'all will be coming in after this.
We coming in after this. This is the Greater Harvest Missionary Baptist Church, 51st and State Street.
That's right. That's right. I was playing Bishop Patterson when I got in. I was like, oh, man, that's enough.
Oh, well.
Listen here. Like Mike and King and my man.
Nope.
1 minute.
We needed this whole hour for Christian and the mayor. Turn your volume down, yeah.
But people will be able to hear us still?
Yeah, I muted you, but you'll be able. They hear you.
Okay. You can see me good?
So let me add you to the.
And then is this going to, so will I be able to go back and click this?
Yep.
Oh, so it'll be, okay.
We live on Facebook, YouTube, and then you able to go pull it right back up.
Wow. What a technology. Y'all don't play around. You have my girl Shine on here.
Yeah, we've been juking this month.
Well, yeah, I've been doing it. You got to tell my friend Miss Faye, I said, hey.
Yeah, she off this month. So I took last month off, and
Okay.
then this month she off. And we'll be back together next month. I just told her, I said, dang, that's like 2 months I don't see you.
Yep.
We got to get together.
And then, like, after this, we're going to set up the cadence. Because, like I said, just once a month. If it's not me, if the mayor ain't here, if the deputy mayor, like,
let's do it.
Make the plan
once
a month.
Get ready.
I don't know about you. I'm talking about myself. I know I've been changed. I don't do the things I used to do. I don't go to places I used to go. I don't say the things I used to say because God did something that I am so excited. He touched me and I am not the same. It's your main man, Action Jackson. And I am lit in this studio. I got my tambourine ready on this Throwback Thursday. You know, Thursdays are my favorite day because in order to know where you're going, you must know where you come from.
Come on.
Listen, Tamara Fair is not on the air. Of course, she's still on sabbatical. But I'm not going to lie. I miss her. I miss Tammy. Tammy, I know you're out in radio land not listening to me. But somebody let Tammy know that Action Jackson does miss her. But filling in for her as our special guest and special guest co-host is none other than the political director.
That's right.
For Mayor Brandon Johnson.
That's right.
That's none other than Brother Reverend Dr. Deacon Christian Perry.
Hey,
Woo, let's give him one run. Zoe, where's you at? You know what? You know what?
They
Zoe is a bad amen.
Listen, they clapping out in the interwebs and on the airwaves.
Well, listen, believers, this young black brother right here is making it happen. I am so godly proud of him, and I'm excited to know him. And you're going to get to know him too because he has a very, very important and significant position. And it's a position of influence. It's a position of education. It's a position of outreach. And he does it with the love of Christ. And you know what? We need more people like that in office. So when we get back, we're talking all things Chicago hot topics. We ain't got to talk about what they found at P. Diddy house. We're going to talk about what we found.
Let's let that alone.
We're going to let that alone. But we're going to talk about, not today. Zoe was a little nervous sweating yesterday. We had
you had to touch it.
We had Chicago comedian Jeremiah Frazier and Don Millhouse. And, when Jeremiah talked about them 1,000 bottles of baby oil, Zoe thought she got to cut the show. But listen, we're not going to talk about no baby oil today. We're going to talk about some of the issues that we have seen in this city.
That's right.
We're going to talk about some of the great things that the mayor has done and is doing that you may not know about. And if the Holy Ghost leads us, I said, if the Holy Ghost leads us, we may take a few callers to see what you want to say or what you got to ask Brother Christian about what's happening. Because if anybody knows what's going on in the Johnson administration, is Brother Christian Perry. So listen, as Charmaine from Uncle Remus Saucy Fried Chicken always says, call your friends and your frenemies and tell them to tune in to the Brunch Bunch right here on Inspiration 1390. Hey guys, it's Tamara. All right. So if you want to take calls,
let's do it, man.
Okay. Marion, get the headphones for me. And cherish. At
Secure Home and Automation, at the end of the day, like what you're about to start seeing over the next 6 months. I mean, I'm sure you saw them on BON. Like we about to get into a cadence. Over a million homes and businesses. We about to get into a cadence, man. We got to get more to our people. Yes. We got to hit BON. We got to hit you. We got to hit the
Well, you know that's the number one thing when I'm in rooms. And Facebook, chime in if you got questions about. Now listen. But you know what? Just be yourself. Say what you want to say. Say what you got to say. Chime in. Tell us if you got any questions about the administration, about what Mayor Johnson is doing, what he's getting ready to do. Comment. But the number one thing, I have a lot of conversations, unfortunately. But one of the good ones with people that understand, they always saying this one thing. Mayor Brandon needs to talk more about what he's doing.
That's right.
Because people don't know, you know, and I'm like, that is the truth. So I'm glad that you're here.
Absolutely, man.
Now experience the promise of ultimate safety that they bring to your home. Call Stacey Chauncey at 866-447-3344. Stacey Chauncey,
we want to make sure that people
3344.
feel connected, feel informed.
What's up, Deborah Cozy Lane?
Oh, that's my auntie.
Miss Deborah.
Hey, auntie.
She said, hey, nephews. I'm proud of y'all. And Miss Deborah Coleman from Coleman's Barbecue is tuned in. What's going on?
The barbecue good over there?
Amazing. Oh man, you got to come on Chicago Avenue.
Juice cleanse right now. I got 3 more days till I get back to solid.
Listen, and then come straight and get you some of them ribs. I don't. You know what? Somebody said you real bougie. I don't eat tips. I get a slab. You know, I like a half a slab. You know, I want the real rib. I ain't a tip fan.
I just called in to make sure everything's good. When they are, when I initially pick up, they can hear y'all
on the phone. Yeah, I know.
Until I put them on hold, so they can.
Okay.
Tune in every Saturday.
We ain't saying nothing there on Zoe. Look, what they say? If I say it once, I can say it twice. Say it again. Oh yeah, Gina. Oh, Miko. What is today? Thursday. No, I will not be at the pier this evening. Lucia Satan. She baked me some cookies that I gotta get. So I need to figure that out.
To the Word Network for a life-changing word.
Hey, it's your girl Money Mika. Life is full of uncertainties, but your family's
you know what?
does not have to be. With life insurance and investments,
I got one of those on the back of my phone, but this one nicer.
If you are uninsured, underinsured, or you just need a free assessment of your life insurance.
Okay, song list.
So you can be prepared for retirement.
Facebook. We have Christian Perry, political director for Mayor Brandon Johnson, and I was saying that like I was making sure I was correct. I was right here on the paper though, like it was in front of me.
You saying it right there. We got some Lonnie Hunter keyed up. I was jamming to power this morning.
What we got for Lonnie Hunter?
That's what's on my Instagram right now. There's power.
Lord, even me, and I'm not tired yet.
Oh, there we go.
Which one you want, Chris?
Oh, shoot, I'm not tired. That sounds good. That sounds good. That sounds
hey,
right.
Ready to level up your kindergarten classroom game? Introducing
No, let's do it after In the Raw. Because then whatever we're talking about, we'll say Christian ain't tired yet.
Listen, just get started.
Now, I can't see you. What happened?
I closed out again?
Yeah, you keep going out. You got, there you go. There you go. Tell him leave that phone alone. Y'all want to see him too.
I was trying to get in my word.
Demarion, give me a pen out the locker too. Oh, I got one. Okay, get ready. Thank you.
What's up, Facebook? Ask your questions. This is the first of many times.
So we are in the Raw, and this I'm not Tamara Fair, of course. You hear that bass in my voice, but listen, filling in the Raw. We gonna get real raw, but let me give him an official introduction because I'm excited to welcome again Christian Perry. He's a Southside Chicago native, a Navy veteran, and a political strategist. He's the CEO of Grind Greatly LLC and co-founder of Black Millennial Renaissance. Christian is a leader in the community organizer space and team development. He's also the top advisor to Mayor Brandon Johnson and has played pivotal roles in campaigns for justice and equity. You're getting ready to hear his inspiring journey and the impact he's making across the country and Chicago. And I'm excited to just know this brother. Let's one more time, Zoe, give a warm brunch button. Welcome to Christian Perry.
Appreciate y'all.
I want to make sure my amen corner.
There you go.
Amen.
They ready. They ready.
Very hard.
But Christian, first let's get into it. I met you many years ago when Governor J.B. Pritzker, I believe, first ran for office. You were not married at the time, and I've been knowing your beautiful wife. Shout out to Shakina Perry. For many years, I often joke with her. I said, when you found Christian, you dropped me as a friend. You know, I used to get invited to taco dates and stuff. You know, we hang out, but now it's like, I got a man now, bye. But
we had you by the house now.
Yeah. She's doing amazing work. You guys are a power political couple in this city on the rise. And I'm going to say this. I keep saying it, and you're hearing it here. There's a shift taking place spiritually and naturally. And in this city,
that's right.
If you're not paying attention, there is a major shift happening. And I'm glad to know that you and your wife are a part of that shift and helping to lead it. And so let's tell the believers a little bit about you and how did you get in this political space?
Yeah, man. Well, look, I'm just grateful to be here with my brother Action Jackson. Shout out to your beautiful wife and your baby.
Thank you.
You know, we love the Jackson family in the Perry household. But I'm my story, starts in West Pullman. I'm a South Side. I was just in Roseland yesterday buying some old fashioned donuts.
I saw that. I almost asked you to drop some right here.
So I am a proud Southsider, love the city of Chicago. And my story starts really in faith. My parents met at the Monument of Faith under the late great apostle Richard D. Hinton.
All right,
my
we
mama
love
used to do the announcements. My parents were in youth ministry, and that's where they met. And they had me very young, right after high school, to a tail end of high school. And we went and we lived in the family home in West Pullman. And my grandfather is really pivotal to my story because he taught in Chicago public schools for 33 years.
Wow.
My late grandfather, Johnny Davis Sr. And he was just always engaged in the community. He was a deacon. He was a deacon. He was a Sunday school teacher. He was a teacher in the community, helped young people get connected to jobs and resources. And I just thought that was normal to be involved in the community, right? My dad did 17 years of CPD. My mom was a nurse. So like serving was just something, my grandmother was an administrator in the daily administration. So it's like, I just thought that's what people did. And then when I got older, I found out not everybody is engaged in that way. So my story, I'll get a quick rundown. I had the right upbringing. My mama named me Christian on purpose.
All right.
I was baptized at the Apostolic Pentecostal Church of Morgan Park under the great Bishop William Anthony Ellis. Shout out to Pastor Bill and my Southside Morgan Park family, APC family. But church is deeply embedded into my bones.
Especially from Apostolic
Pentecostal
Church of Morgan Park and Apostle R.D. Hinton.
Come on now,
you got it.
I was christened by Hinton and baptized by Ellis. So I tell people it's in my bones, is what I know. But high school was hard for me. Kids struggle. I went to 4 high schools in 4 years, barely got across the stage, 1.8 GPA. And my uncle in all his wisdom was like, hey, you need to get out of here. Ain't nothing in this city. You're dabbling in the wrong things. And I joined the Navy, world's finest Navy. Did 4 years on active duty. And then when I came back home, enrolled at Trinity Christian College because I wanted to go somewhere where I could practice my faith and be around folks that understood that, but then also develop as a leader. And I majored in political science, and that's where I started to realize I had an affinity for creating safe spaces, for bringing people together, for wrestling in the intersection that I call race, faith, and politics. Because I want to wrestle with people in love all day long. That's what I want to do. I'm not going to let you go. We're going to sit and talk it out until we get to solution. And God has taken that desire, as my granddaddy would say, to no goodness of my own. He's gifted me in that area to connect with people. And that led from being an organizer, JB Pritzker, on the south side and southland of Cook County, and then working for Cook County Commissioner Donna Miller. Shout out to my former boss. I was her director of communications and external affairs, and then worked in state government on criminal justice policy as the state director of community development at the Illinois Criminal Justice Information Authority, and then the deputy political.
So you're not new to this? You're
no,
true to
man.
this.
I do this, and then the deputy political director for JB and Juliana before my good friend told me, Christian, we gonna make this runoff. And I said, okay. He's like, and when I do, I need you. And I told my wife, I was like, hey, Big Bro said he gonna make the runoff. And when he did, it was all gas, no brakes from there. And God went crazy.
Well, I love it. Well, I will say that there were many skeptics when, you know, a lot of people weren't on the bandwagon. I'm just West Side, so I listen.
So you knew
I was gonna support regardless, right? It's like, look, I this my man. Plus, you know, we had this running joke. He always joked with me that I picked the wrong candidates. When he
good for giving people a hard time.
He's
gonna crack a joke or two.
He gonna give it. So when he ran, I never forget. I told him, I said, I'm not gonna pick the wrong candidate this time. I got you, bro. So I'm excited to know, and excuse my glasses, they're not for seeing purposes. And I can't see out of them. I had to take them off so I could really see. But these are my new smart glasses. Shout out to Ray-Ban. I'm capturing footage, while I'm talking. But back to you. You got an extensive political history. You didn't just wake up one day and the mayor said, let me put my friend in this spot. You have a track record to prove that you deserve to be in this spot.
Yeah, God is good in that way. I mean, I've done a lot of work for a ton of candidates. I mean, I got, good friends like Congressman Jackson. I was really good friends with Congresswoman Marie Newman. Have helped the mayor of Harvey, Chris Clark.
Now, you ain't got nothing to do with the mayor of Dalton, do you?
Oh, man, come on now. We're going to keep it PG. We're going to keep it PG. But, my background, I'm always looking to serve, and you can either look at, my background as a college basketball coach, whether that's my background as a sailor, whether that's my background growing up in church. Like, if people need help, you go help. When I first walked in the push, I'll never forget Reverend Jeanette Wilson. I love you if you're listening.
I love Reverend Wilson.
I was a young staffer working for Cook County Commissioner Donna Miller. We were about to do a press conference for the census, and Reverend Jackson didn't have any talking points. So I'm standing back there, and she just grabbed me. She said, come on here, get on this computer, write these talking points for Reverend. And I said, for Reverend Jesse Jackson?
Wait, you didn't say, I don't work here.
Of course not. That's not what you say to Reverend Wilson. Everybody know when you walk in the push, you better be ready to work. They're gonna put you to work. But that's just been my orientation toward trying to figure out how we uplift our people. So I'm just grateful for the opportunity.
Well, the amazing thing is I'm listening to you talk, and of course, I'm like a 70-year-old, right? And a 36-year-old body, I think Zoe mama was shocked when she found out how young I was. She thought I was she thought I was 60.
Ain't nothing wrong with it. Old soul, ain't nothing wrong.
But as I'm listening to you talk, it would sound as if you've been doing this 20, 30, 40 years.
We pack a lot into a day, man. You know how we do.
Oh, yeah.
We are high capacity individuals. And when God has gifted you with a charge that lights your soul on fire, and you know how important it is, not just for my 12-year-old son, but for your baby. For Mayor Brandon Johnson's babies, for all of our babies. We ain't got no time to waste, man.
Well, that brings me one of my favorite parables. And you sit on the board, of
Trinity. Trinity Christian College. That's right.
Trinity Christian College. I need a scholarship. Listen, it brings me to one of the stories in the Bible that I really glean on when people ask me, how do you do this? How do you do this work? When Moses was speaking to the fiery bush, the Bible tells us that the bush was on fire,
Mhm.
but it was never consumed
Come
by
on.
the fire.
Come on.
And when God calls you to do something,
Come on.
you can be on fire, but you won't get burnt
Come
out.
on.
I can't get
Come on.
nobody
Come
to
on.
help
Come
me.
on. No, you're
Listen,
not about
I
to
just
listen.
send your offerings to
I
nothing
gotta go
but the
back to
truth.
work after this. You're not about to send me into no apostolic fit
Yeah,
in here.
and listen, I'm gonna have a Kojic Baptist fit with you. But you know, that's the essence of it. When you're working and you're called to do something.
So check this out. Mayor Johnson says this to his son, and I'm starting to use it now.
Mm-hmm.
They say, "Oh, people ask, oh, how you doing? How you doing?" And he's like, "Look, on my worst day is still better than your grandfather's best day."
Mm.
You got to have context of how far we've come as a people.
That's it.
And keep it in perspective. We are blessed and gifted to be able to work on behalf of the citizens of the city of Chicago.
Well,
It's
listen,
gonna be okay.
I love that. My worst day is still better than your grandfather's best day, because we have not been too far removed
Come on.
from Jim Crow, from slavery,
Come on.
from the segregated South. And you know what? When we get back, we're gonna talk about what's happening. But because one of the things is, what does it profit a man to gain the world and lose his soul, right? And so we are in, as the late great Reverend Clay Evans would say, we are in crucial times.
That's right.
Where times we don't know which way is up. Sometimes you don't know what politicians are going to do. But today we're going to tell you what they're going to do.
Right.
Because Christian Perry, the political director for Mayor Brandon Johnson, is with us. Now listen, if you have questions about the Johnson administration, you want to know what's going on, you just got a thought, call 855-999-1390. That's 855-999-1390. Now listen, please be respectful. You know, I understand we want to be honest, but just be respectful. Let and make it a good question. You know, don't ask why the pothole on your block ain't filled. Call your alderman's office first. Let's talk to the mayor and the mayor's team about things that the mayor actually has the control over, right? So listen, what does it profit a man? This James Hall gained the world right here on the Brunch Bunch on this Throwback Thursday. I don't see that on. Oh, it ain't on the list, huh?
He was going there when he was like, "Man, how you do all this?"
You know what? That would have been perfect. What's up, Tennille Jackson? What's going on?
Oh, what's up, Sister Tennille? That's my super volunteer.
That's my girl. Okay, we won't do too much of this. We're gonna come in. I want you to walk us through the day-to-day responsibilities in the role. Okay, and then we'll start talking about some of the policies. We got to talk about the migrant crisis, because that's number one on Black people's list.
Okay.
And why the mayor let them take over that building in South Shore that didn't happen, you know. Just like the president letting people eat dogs and cats at Mar-a-Lago.
Them Haitians eating the dogs. And did you see TikTok? The dogs and the cats.
Listen, these people are funny. Demarion, I saw you raise your hand when I was talking. You got to give me an offering. When the word is good, you got to confirm the word. No, that is one of my... I learned that many years ago, and it was like, you know what? Mm-hmm. This bush was doing the work of God, and it was never consumed by the fire. When I stopped doing what I wanted to do and do what God called me to do, I ain't tired yet. I ain't tired yet.
You're walking in your purpose. Come on.
All right, here we go. This is for Brother Christian. I'm not tired yet. Did we say James Hall?
It's Lonnie, ain't it?
Lonnie, right. Oh, I got to download this. Thank you for joining us, Bloom. My intern, my favorite assistant intern, Autumn. She's been with me. Well, she just graduated Howard, so she started with me right when she was going to Howard, so 4 years ago.
Oh, that's awesome.
And she manages our live from remote.
Okay.
And
well, thank you for your work.
She a little late today because she was on live. She has her own skincare line.
Come on.
It's a memoir.
Come on.
You know.
Like Action Jackson?
Yes. Oh, her mother is a very successful entrepreneur here in the city. Owns a
We need to talk after this.
2 edible arrangements.
Oh, we need to
about
talk.
6 daycare centers.
She needs to know Mayor Brandon Johnson.
Yeah. She one of my people I have to get pulled to the side with, too, you know.
That's after 5 o'clock, okay?
Yeah. So after this, Zoe,
attention entrepreneurs.
Thank you.
It's your girl.
I was gonna say
Attorney
cut it.
India
You know, we
Rios,
want
your
to have some
one-stop
time.
shop
Turn
for
it down
trademark
some.
services. Whether you're
After the
launching a new business or starting an established one, I will guide you through
Monster Jam commercial. Play that again and bring me in. Allison, her mother's with her, said hello.
Oh, hey, Miss Allison.
And that's the name of one of the daycares.
Hello.
Yeah.
We want to come by one of your establishments, take some pictures, eat some good fruit.
Yes, let's do it.
Attorney India Rios to secure the brand and the bag.
It's Thursday. It's Thursday. The week is almost over. I got to figure out. I had a day full of stuff planned today, y'all, meetings, and I got to cancel them all because I have planned. Charmaine from Uncle Remus is her and Mandy are picking Valencia up and taking her out to enjoy the day because she's been a little tired in her body.
Mm-hmm.
And so now me and MJ got to figure out what we about to do.
Oh, yeah. Daddy Sunday.
I had to take them to the bar or something, you know.
Sit right up on the
right. What's up, Crystal Gardner, West Side in the building?
West Side want to be South Side.
I saw you post that, and I wanted to say no, but I ain't want to start no smoke.
My good sis, no. We stay out South, man.
Unfortunately, I've been out there more than I want to lately. I just told Stephanie Coleman that last night. I said, I was in Inglewood. Now I'm in I said, this ain't even South. I'm in Lansing. How did I get past?
Way South Cook County.
Yeah, I'm like, I've been out South too much.
That red line, man.
No,
working on that.
I'm not tired yet. We out west. Look at Krista. I'm in Lansing and I see your sister. I'm like, Charmaine be everywhere. I went to celebrate Eric Knowles of GQ Fashion. Do you know Eric Knowles?
Does he give away suits to young people?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he has his suit shop on 71st Street.
Okay.
Yeah, we gotta get the mail, like get a suit or something. Yeah. He's my stylist, so when y'all see me at those awards gala, when I'm real fly, that's him. It ain't me. Trust me. What's up? No, bring me in right after this. Because I want to announce. You rocking with the Brunch Bunch right here on Inspiration 1390. Before we get into the city politics and policies, I want to remind you that tomorrow night, turn to your neighbor and say tomorrow night. Tomorrow night is our Dad Squad family night out. Dads, I'm calling all dads. Join us at the Monster Jam going down at the Allstate Arena. Christian, you may need to bring your son. I know he's almost teenager now, but tell him to come out to the Monster Jam. But dads, we're gonna show up. But now I've learned my lesson with you dads last time, so we letting the mamas come this time. Okay, we ain't doing this on our home. But we'll try again with just daddies the next event. But tomorrow night, bring your wives and your kids and come out to Monster Jam. We have a special discount code for $15 tickets, and guess what? If you follow Chicago Dad Squad on Instagram, today at 3:30 p.m., we're going to be giving some tickets away live on Instagram. I text my boss, my partner, shout out to Tennille Jackson with the Chicago Mom Squad. I texted and told her that the Holy Spirit told me to give away some tickets to some families that need it. So I asked, could I buy a block of tickets? And so the Dream Center and I are purchasing 20 tickets to give away for tomorrow's event. So make sure you follow the Dad Squad at Chicago Dad Squad on Instagram. And at what time I said? At 4:30. I said 3:30. It's gonna be 4:30. I forgot me and MJ going to hang. So at 4:30, we're gonna be live giving those out. So make sure you follow. But we have Brother Christian Perry, the political director for Mayor Brandon Johnson. And so for people that don't know your title as political director and what you do, can you walk us through your day-to-day responsibilities?
Yeah, that's a great question. It is any and everything that has to do with the majority of the mayor's activity that takes place outside of City Hall.
Okay.
Right. So the things that take place on the fifth floor, that's paid for by the taxpayers.
Mm-hmm.
That is government business. Most of which the machinations people don't even feel on a day-to-day basis, right? Taking care of streets and sands, taking care of the people's business,
Mm-hmm.
right? What I do is outside of the people's business and it's paid for by campaign funds,
Okay.
right? So my job is to chiefly raise those funds, right? So
Okay.
I'm always trying to make sure that I'm staying in contact with the people who want to support the mayor's vision for the city of Chicago and contribute to that vision. So that's like one bucket, managing the fundraising apparatus for Mayor Brandon Johnson. But then also stakeholder relationship and management. You know, you've seen me do this,
Mm-hmm.
Marcel. There are very important people in the city of Chicago, people that are excited about the mayor's vision, and some that got some questions and want to learn some more.
Mm-hmm.
So what I do is I make myself available to those folks so that we can have these conversations, so that I can clear up any misunderstandings or make sure that people are aware of the good work that the mayor is doing on behalf of the city of Chicago. So that's another. And then lastly, I do advise the mayor about things outside of City Hall, things that impact his political standing. I'm often in conversation with alders outside of City Hall, state reps, state senators, our Congress folks, our Cook County commissioners, and just making sure that I'm representing not only the mayor's interests and his values, but constant communication and connection with the people that help make Chicago go, but that also can help us multiply and add to the ranks of folks that are on Team Johnson
Mm-hmm.
so that we can do more together.
Mm. So in that role, how often are you talking to the mayor?
So me and the mayor probably talk every day.
Okay.
We have scheduled check-ins about 2 or 3 times a week where we drill through some things. But yeah, we talk we talk every day throughout the day. The mayor's mind, he's one of the best political minds of our time, and it moves so fast. So oftentimes, you know, I'm having to increase my speed and capacity to keep up with the 3 or 4 plays ahead that he's setting for us to run. So yeah, so we're talking often, exchanging ideas, and making sure we're staying on top of things.
All right, let's talk about, so the mayor's been in office, what, roughly
About
15
16,
months,
15 months. Yep.
16 months. So in the first 15, 16 months of the Mayor Johnson's administration, what accomplishments are you most proud of?
Oh man, we got them done. Funny enough, the ones that I'm most proud of, we got done in the first 6 months. So you're talking about paid time off. The way he says it on the campaign trail is, you know, the workers of Chicago asked for a day off. He gave them 10. So paid time off policy is something that he was very happy to enact and city council passed. The other one was abolishing the sub minimum wage. So I have a background. I waited tables not only as a nightcap while I was in the Navy, but while I was in college, I also waited tables and bartended. And you know, you get that check at the end of 2 weeks. You're making $4 an hour. That check ain't worth nothing after taxes.
No.
So you're trying to feed your family and support yourself off of the kindness of other people, of tips, which sometimes you make out good, but sometimes you don't.
Yep.
So industry that is populated by mostly Black and brown women, what the mayor said was, we getting rid of that. And what the people in the city of Chicago who wait tables and in the service industry deserve a raise. So we did that. We abolished some minimum wage, and on a scheduled increase, folks will see that pay that they get on their paycheck outside of tips catch up to the minimum wage standards for the city of Chicago.
Nice.
Yeah, we also passed. The mayor is very proud. One of the largest economic and community development bonds in the history of Chicago. $1.25 billion for community development and affordable housing. You're going to be able to. We were just in D.C. talking to the Congressional Black Caucus. Chicago, he said, where else in the world do you have somebody say downtown and affordability in the same sentence? Most people, when they hear downtown, they think, oh, I can't stay down there.
I can't afford that.
Right. But the people who, clean the windows, the people who, clean other beautiful buildings in the city of Chicago, they should be able to afford to stay down here as well.
Yeah.
Right. So we're working on those things. But then also, you got things like the Cut the Red Tape initiative.
Okay.
Right? So you're a business owner. This would be exciting to you. Like, what does it look like to make sure that the Black businesses that need access to the resources, need contracts to move more swiftly, folks shouldn't be waiting 1, 2, 3 years for deals to get done from start to finish.
Yeah.
So how do we get rid of some of that bureaucratic tape that, to be quite frank, the history of this country was set up to keep people like us from being able to access economic mobility? How do we make those things move a little bit faster, decently and in order?
You're right.
But move faster so that we got access to the opportunity to grow wealth in this city. So those are just a few things.
So let me ask you about this cut the red tape. Does that
Yeah.
apply to Department of Planning? Is that like permitting? Because that's a major issue.
That's a great question. So that's the other part of my role. That's good. Because I sit on the outside of City Hall, what I always am careful of is making sure that I'm not describing in great detail how to move about a certain policy. But what I tell people is the utility of me is when you have access to me, I can get a hold of those people in City Hall, a hold of those deputy mayors, and get you all the information that you need. So I will follow up with you on that.
Okay.
And make sure that you're connected so that you know how that initiative actually works and how it can benefit your business.
Perfect, because I do know that I've talked to a lot of developers.
Yeah.
And actually, my architect, African-American architect, we were talking and he was just telling me how in New York City, it's so streamlined to be able to get your plans approved and permits, where in Chicago, it's so much red tape and it's so much bureaucracy and it takes months. And now you got your project that could have been done in 6 months is now, I ain't gonna say 6 years.
No, I got you.
You got it.
But there's two more I want to mention before we move on. So one, this issue impacts particularly, my wife would be happy to hear me mention this because my wife's an environmental justice advocate.
Yes.
We bought back the Department of the Environment at the City of Chicago. It was taken away. So now that department is back doing the good work to make sure that environmental justice is front and center for the City of Chicago, servicing the needs of the people of the City of Chicago. And the other is, you had administrations in the past, to be quite frank, that were okay with disinvesting on the south and west sides. Downtown, as gorgeous as it is, as beautiful, you could tell that was the priority for previous administrations. This administration said the mental health clinics that were closed across the city, we're going to work to open those back up. So I believe the number is 3 so far that we have reopened 3 mental health clinics in the mayor's first 15 months.
Wow.
Yep. To help make sure that we have the resources that we need, the behavioral services that we need, access to care. So those are just a few of the things. I mean, we could talk about how we're almost to 200 detectives and the fact that crime is down year over year since he's been in office.
Well, let's talk about the crime.
Yeah.
Because there's a big fight in City Hall right now. ShotSpotter. Can you talk about that? And for those that are saying, for me, I'm like, you know what? Abolish.
Yeah.
I mean, what is it doing, right?
Well, how about we say, like the mayor said yesterday in his press conference, and I hope people tune into, that's one thing I will say, folks, watch the post press conference at City Hall. The mayor makes himself available to the media in this city to answer questions, to answer your questions. And sometimes, it was 45 minutes yesterday. You only get 30 seconds of that on Channel 7.
Yeah.
5. But he's giving you great context as to why he's doing what he's doing on behalf of the city of Chicago. So when it comes to ShotSpotter, disingenuous. We get to tell the truth. Mayor always says we get to run on our values and we're going to tell people the truth. Part of the role of leadership, I believe, is to not cower in the face of things that might be uncomfortable, right? So this corporation is playing on the pain, the anxiety, and the fear of our community. I grew up on the south side, you grew up on the west side.
Yeah.
We know what it's like. It's a darn shame when we hear gunshots and we don't duck or we don't run.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's
ingrained.
You dig what I'm saying? But there are interests.
Now we could say when you grew up in the hood and you hear a shot, you can be like, oh, that's 2 blocks off. That's around the corner.
Right.
We good. Which is sad, but it's the reality.
But there are corporate interests who have figured out how to monetize that pain. Right? The reality is ShotSpotter was sold to the city of Chicago as something that would help decrease violent crime and increase the ability to be able to catch those offenders. It hasn't done that. Right? So all the mayor is saying is like, look, be honest about the bill of bad goods that you sold to people of Chicago. He also wants to enter into a productive conversation with our alders, with our police department, to say, what are the other resources? Because if this was a good resource, Houston wouldn't have canceled their contract. Charlotte wouldn't have canceled their contract. It's about 5 or 6 other cities that I can name, major cities across America, who have told Sound Thinking and ShotSpotter, enough is enough. You get no more of our tax dollars. We're going to go another way. Keeping the people of the city of Chicago safe is this mayor's top priority.
Yeah.
And it's going to continue to be for the rest of his administration.
I love that. I'm glad. Now, a question came through my phone.
Okay.
There were conversations, I think some activists were asking the mayor when he was running about creating an office for foundational Black Americans. An office that's centered around making sure that Black folks are having equitable opportunities in the city. Is that something on the...
Well, I'll say 2 things about that. And I would love to be connected with this activist that after the show so that we can have deeper conversations. But there's 2 things I'll say. This is one of the blackest administrations in the history of the city of Chicago. I would refer folks to the article that was written by the Tribe. And that's representation matters, but you and I both know the reason why representation matters because our people have context.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason why you're likely to do better with a black doctor if you're black.
Oh,
than
yeah.
a doctor of another race.
Yeah.
Because there's context to your experience in this country, right? And that's that goes no different than Deputy Mayor Gary Gatewood, Deputy Mayor Kenya Merritt,
West Side.
that goes, the Commissioner Sierra Boatwright, all these incredibly talented black people, the majority of which who are women, by the way, are leading in areas. You got budget chairs that are black. You got a vice mayor that are black. That's black. They're leading in areas where they've never led before in City Hall, and not with this much concentration of, I'll say it frankly, power.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have black people in position of power to make decisions on behalf of black folks, that's the first thing I'll say. The second thing I'll say is we passed the reparations ordinance. So I believe I'm going to get the number right. There was money invested to look at how the city of Chicago goes about moving our way toward equitable reparations for Black Americans, for black Chicagoans. This mayor, and sometimes people, don't understand because sometimes the pockets in which he does it are so tight. This mayor is unapologetically black.
Yeah.
How about this? History of City of Chicago. He's the fourth black person to be mayor of City of Chicago. First lady is the first black first lady we've ever had in the city of Chicago. He's raising black children on the west side in a beautiful community of Austin and one of the more violent communities in the city of Chicago. So this mayor is intimately aware and very focused on improving the situation for our people. And here's the other part. Tony Preckwinkle says, we all do better when we all do better. Brittany Johnson says, black people and brown people's elevation, success, access does not come at the expense of other people.
That's right.
So black people can win and others can win as well.
So he's unapologetically black and saved. Don't get it twisted.
Don't get it twisted. At the convention, okay? That's real.
The Bible say watch and pray. He
was
watching and praying.
And he played the drums.
Yep. Church of God in Christ. But listen, the hottest topic of the Johnson administration where black people are frustrated. And when I'm in the community, I'm hearing it all the time. I even told the mayor, I said, my mother's not even a political person, right? Yeah. But she was like jumping on the bandwagon. The migrant crisis. The new arrivals. Let's talk about that. And of course, I'll let you say, because I got my thoughts. But
what we got to, once again, context matters. Because my dad, who's not hyper political, just last week was like, man, what y'all doing?
Yeah.
Man, my daddy stay out in Park Forest.
So get out of our city business.
We're like, what y'all doing? I'm hearing about this. And there was a video he sent me on YouTube that had 200,000 views talking about the mayor's giving new arrivals cars and they putting them in houses. And
I've heard.
And people got to have context, right? What Governor Abbott did in Texas, wicked is the word that comes to mind. So ungodly, there's a ton of adjectives that come to mind about using human beings as political subjects to drive home a point. So that's one. The other context that's important for people to have is we inherited the new arrival crisis, right? You had people sleeping on police department floors. You had people sleeping on the floor in O'Hare. I don't know about you, but I've been in O'Hare lately. Ain't nobody sleeping on the floor.
I have been there recently, and I did not see it like before. Yeah.
When I take my son to school in Inglewood, we drive past a police station, and I ain't seen no people sleeping outside the police station. So I give that context.
Good point.
I give that context to say what the media has done a poor job of acknowledging. This quote unquote rookie mayor inherited a crisis that was unique to Chicago, and not only did he manage it, he managed it and didn't have to take from somebody else in order to make sure that these human beings, these image bearers, we own Christian station, right? Yeah. These image bearers,
talk about it, Reverend,
who needed shelter, who needed safety. He gives the story of Joseph about how when Joseph was elevated, when his brothers had sold him off, God had made it to where his station was greater. Yeah. And then come to find out there was going to be a time where his family needed him. Not only was Joseph able to receive his family and take care of his family, but he was also able to take care of the rest of the world.
Yeah.
That's the charge the city of Chicago has. There's enough for everybody.
Yeah.
He has managed this crisis. He's made sure that people are being treated humanely. And this is the blackest administration in generations. He is married to a beautiful black woman raising black kids on the west side of Chicago. That's what I say about these new arrivals.
So that was very good. I don't think we've talked about the good that has come. Police stations are not overcrowded.
Buses are no longer coming.
Yeah, buses are no. Oh, nobody. I didn't see that news report,
brother, because they don't want to. So check it out. They had the mayor had to sign an executive order decreeing that these companies would be penalized. Then when we did that, wicked Governor Abbott put human beings on a plane. And we found out that we actually have a security measure that we need to fix, because he was able to put folks on a plane, flying to Chicago, and nobody knew who was on the plane.
Oh, how does that happen?
Correct. So because of the good leadership of Mayor Brandon Johnson and him finding out a way to stop buses from coming into city limits, he had to try to find another way to attach Chicagoans by trying to use human beings for a political gain. And what now has happened, he sometimes now, one, we haven't had one arrive. But what happened shortly thereafter is he would drop them off in the suburbs and encourage people to find their way. Listen, man, this is top tier wickedness. This mayor's managed this crisis, and black people need to know that he's going to take care of the entire city of Chicago, but never at the expense of our people.
And I love that. And you know what? That context does help, because I can be honest, I didn't know that either, and I didn't realize that buses weren't coming anymore. And so that is a win that needs to be talked about. So. The crisis that we've been talking about is not really a crisis anymore. No. Now we're just managing our new.
They claim they took over a building, and folks had to come out and say that wasn't true.
First of all, I'm from out west, and I know ain't nobody taking over no building on no south side. I don't care how many of y'all it is. If out south wasn't letting y'all do that.
No. And like I said, oftentimes the corporate media and the corporate interests in this city, they know what it means to have a mayor of these values on the 5th floor. They know what it means for the certain tables that he's convening, the fact that Marcel can pick up the phone and have a conversation with the mayor. This mayor is the most accessible mayor in the history of the city of Chicago. That's dangerous for folks who don't want to see our people win.
I got to give it to him. If I send a text, I get a text back. It may not be that day. It may be the next day, a few days later, but he texts back.
It wasn't going to happen.
No. I wasn't going, no other administration, No. You wasn't even getting their real number.
No, exactly.
Or they was changing the number.
As his political director, I'll say it frankly, I wish he would change his number. He won't.
Well, that's
because
good.
He's an organizer, and he's connected to the people. He knows who sent him there, and he wants his people to know the 5th floor is open for the people's business.
So before we go, I was in the barbershop, not this Thursday, probably 2 Thursdays ago, and I was told, so let's dispel this rumor. I was told that Mayor Johnson no longer lives in Austin. He moved.
Oh my goodness! So look,
now I was taking up for him, but I didn't have facts. But
so look, I can dispel. My name is Christian, and I was raised by a Christian. I can dispel that Mayor Brandon Johnson absolutely proudly still resides in Austin. And if you do know, I won't give his address away, but if you do know his cross streets, feel free to drive past those cross streets, and you will see the police detail that takes care of the first family.
Yeah.
So no, he is still proudly on the west side of Austin, and he jokes that the property values are going up ever since he became mayor. So you're welcome.
Well,
a
house on this block was up for sale. I was looking.
Look at you.
I said it's still a little rough over there.
Look, but we fixing it.
We fixing it. No. Well, Christian, I'm glad that you came, and I appreciate Christian and the Johnson administration has committed to coming on the Brunch Bunch at least once a month.
That's right.
To talk about what's going on, bring updates so we can get it directly, because we know that most of you get your news and updates right here from the Brunch Bunch. And so we're excited to have this open line of communication with the Johnson administration. We're going to keep highlighting and updating you on what's going on.
That's right. Follow us on Twitter. Follow Brandon for Chicago on Instagram, Brandon for Chicago on Twitter. Follow them on Facebook. Engage with us, y'all. You guys are going to see an uptick in the amount of content that's coming out, particularly from the campaign arm, but also on the government side, because we got to get our message. That was Senator Bernie Sanders' advice to the mayor at the last rally before we won. He said, you got to get your message to the people directly. You got to speak through the noise, speak through the corporate interests, go to where the people are and deliver your message. We're going to be doing that in high fashion for the next, as he says, 22 more years.
All right. Well, listen, you heard it right here on the Brunch Bunch. Thank you, Christian Perry, the political director for Mayor Brandon Johnson. He is out here doing the Lord's work, and it is marvelous in his eyes. And you know what? We're going to pray.
Come on.
Hedge of protection over you. We're praying for the Johnson administration. But, you know, thank God that you're on fire, but you won't be consumed by the fire. Keep working for the people, Brother Christian. We appreciate you. Believers, we appreciate you on this Throwback Thursday in the spirit of the late, great Reverend Clay. You know what? Nope. We're going to close it out with, I got a word from the Lord this morning. We're only going to give you 1 minute of it, but I don't care what you're going through, how it may seem. Yeah. The Lord told me to tell you, listen, Zoe, you got 8 seconds to put it back in. You better come on with it. You better come on with it. But listen, no matter what you're going through, no matter how hard it may seem, God told me to tell you, it's going to be all right.
Amen.
And guess what? Reverend Evans would say, it's already all right.
It's already all right.
Listen, up next is AC Green. After that, Pastor DeAndre Patterson with the afternoon drive. We get it done all night long right here on Inspiration 1390.
We love you all.
I know. I'm a Zoe. You got to move with the spirit.
People still on Facebook?
Yes. So say whatever you want to say to them.
Hey, we love you all. We will be back. We'll get the mayor in studio at some point. I'll be back. We'll try to get some deputy mayors in here. We're going to be communicating directly to our people because you all need to know the good work that's being done by this mayor, by this team to help make sure we get better. So,
all right, let's do it. Facebook, I will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we got a jam-packed show. It's Women in Business. We got Andrea Hill, one of the leading ladies for the original Hooters. We got Ariel Johnson.
There you go.
Yes,
CEO of BLC.
CEO of BLC Business Leadership Council. And we got my girl Lala will be joining us about a special event she has coming up this weekend. All things women, all things business. See you tomorrow.
You all be blessed.